Okay, I'm not really stoked to make this video. I don't really like or want to make this type of content, but I just need to pile my voice on to the probably hundreds of other, if not thousands, YouTubers that are talking about this exact subject today or making this exact video right now, and probably a better quality than I can make. Anyway, when I got this, I got it for this exact reason. It was for this game, because I felt like $50 was a great price point for something they were going to sell. I didn't really feel like they would get to an $80 value point, but that is very subjective and is going to vary from person to person, and not why I'm making this video. In fact, the recent update that they put out kind of takes away player choice. I'm going to go over to the game in just a second here. We're going to go over, and if I were to want to pick a course on this iteration of the game, there is connector courses. It's the big draw of this game, is that it's a big open world. You can now drive to different locations. The scenery changes as you kind of cross these thresholds. It's really cool. It's really dynamic. It makes it great. Knockout Tour is probably the best addition to the game ever. But the big thing is that there are connector courses between each and every single place. Therefore, these courses that we're traditionally used to racing on, that has a 3-lap structure, is very few and far between when you want to play it in this game. It is very focused on a new Grand Prix structure where you race 3 laps on one course, and then you drive to the next location. That drive to the next location takes up 2 of the 3 or 4 laps. It even gets to 8 laps if you're on DK. It just gets crazy. Anyway, as far as the overall structure of it, the predominant time is spent between the locations. So the time that you actually spend on an actual track, besides the first track in a Grand Prix, is only 1 time on each course in that Grand Prix. So effectively, you're racing 3 laps on one course, and then it's 2 laps to get to it, then 1 lap on it, and then you're going to the next one. I don't know if this is the Grand Prix structure on the ones I'm showing, but the point is that players online have had a preference of selecting random, which random is generating always occurrences of 3 laps on one particular track. They're the most fun to drive on. They have the most thematic, elements. You can do the most tricks and shortcuts on them and really impress people by showing off your skills. But these courses that have just, going between each other are more or less kind of straightaways. So you're not really given the opportunity to fully utilize these shortcuts, or if you do, they're, like very cheap, like being able to use a gold mushroom and boost past somebody on like a field, like this Shortcat clip I'm probably going to rip off right here. So as far as what is mostly concerning the player base, is that the choice that they had to be able to race on a 3-lap course has been taken away from them by now that random being adding these connector courses back in. And unfortunately, the connector courses vastly outnumber the amount of tracks you have. So you're probably not spending a lot of time on 3-lap courses, and players genuinely preferred that, or at least had an option to constantly get that picked. And I understand that not everybody wants that. I'm sure racing 3 laps on the same thing can be a bit boring. I know my wife actually likes the transitions because you just don't see the same thing over and over again. But for a player to have practiced tricks and to have really raised their skill on it, it lessens the ability for them to showcase that to other players and to get sick, dope-ass reels and clips online that can be pushed to really sell the game. So, I understand Nintendo wanting to have a way for them to flex their design prowess and show the new design philosophy of the new game, but it's robbing players of freedom, and for $80, it's a big ask. I mean, you can't even match with other friends and play against other players. You are relegated to only playing against bots. So for an online subscription combined with that already big price tag, it's creating enough animosity as it is. And I really feel like you should be trying to garner some goodwill out of this and elevate the game to the best that it can possibly be by offering your players more choice. So while I respect their decisions, and while I appreciate Nintendo as a company. I would really prefer if they would focus more on getting goodwill and being able to add more possibilities for you getting 3-lap tracks, or just adding an option for that to just be a selection for online. I understand you don't want to probably split the matchmaking, so it is what it is. But the key takeaway here is that we need some sort of choice. And to be able to have that classic option to be able to play a 3-lap course is very, very important to the community right now. So I really feel like they should be listened to. Anyway, sorry for this. I appreciate your time. I'm probably shouting into the void because nobody watches these things. So I appreciate your time if you did watch this. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We're going to get the socials off of there so I can look you dead in the eyes and say I love you, mwah, and have a great rest of your day.